broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Everything to play for in the final game of the season for the Sasquatch as they'll try to salvage their season. They need to win today. They need help from the Nebraska Plainsmen out in Hastings in order to find a spot in the playoffs after today. Meanwhile, the Moo, all they have to do is win, and they would be in. A little bit of an unconventional setup for today's game. We honored the host families before the start of this ball game, so we weren't up here in the broadcast booth to do our conventional open, but now we can talk a little bit about what's to watch out for in today's game. We'll take a look here at our off-the-wall stats and two players to look out for the final game of the regular season, spotlighting Ryan Bachman and Cooper Fucino, both very similar seasons so far, 41 and 42 games played. Ryan Bachman, 377 batting average, Cooper Fucino at 348, 4 and 3 home runs, both players having phenomenal summers, and those will be two players to watch out for here in today's ball game. As mentioned, the Sasquatch not only need to win, but they also are going to need some help from the Plainsmen in order to find a spot in the playoffs starting next week. Well, the Fremont Moo will begin at the top of the first inning. We'll take a look at their starting lineup. It's a similar lineup to what we've seen all series long. Josh Blount leads things off. Jack Tarosian bats second. Cooper Fucino, highlighted him as a player to watch. He's batting third. And Carter Sintek cleans up. He's batting fourth. Connor Peterson fifth. Miles Meadows bats sixth. Caden Anderson's the second baseman, batting seventh. Isaac Bonner playing third and batting eighth. And then Bridger Coleman rounds out the lineup for the Fremont Moo here on the final game of the regular season, and that lineup will be going up against the starting pitcher for the Spearfish Sasquatch. It'll be number 17, Russell Peterson out of Whitman College, 6'1", 190 pounds. We'll take a look at his season numbers this year. 36 2/3 innings pitched, a 2-2 record, 5.4 ERA, 1.47 WHIP, and really good strikeouts to walk numbers. He's got 57 strikeouts to just 14 walks. Last time out against the Casper Spuds, his best start of the year, you could say. 6 innings pitched, he threw 89 pitches, 7 strikeouts, did not allow a run, only 1 walk, and 3 hits. Peterson was fantastic and bounced back well from 2 starts in a row against the Sodbusters and the Zapper. He'd struggled on the mound, but pitched much better against the Spuds just a few days ago, and he had 1 outing where he came out of the bullpen. This will be start number 10 for him this year, and discounting that 1 inning pitched out of the pen where he struggled, 35 2/3 innings pitched in games he started with a 4.28 ERA. So a little bit inflated, the 5.4, just because of that 1 outing out of the pen, but in games he started, he's been really good. Sasquatch have been good in games he started as well. The team is 6-3 in games that he has started, and so the Sasquatch need a good outing out of him. The team is shaken up with some injuries, both on the pitching side of things and on the hitting side of things. We'll take a look at the lineup in the bottom of the first inning. You'll see some different faces to finish out the regular season, but Sasquatch need a strong outing from Russell Peterson to try to get a win today, and then they'll turn their focus to what's going to happen out in Hastings. That game starts at 5:35 our time here in Spearfish. This game, the Sunday afternoon game, will start right on its scheduled 4:05. So Josh Blount, the right fielder, left-handed batter, will dig in. Russell Peterson, the righty, on the mound. And the first pitch of the ball game is high, ball one. 84 degrees here in Spearfish. A possible rain in the forecast as well. 84 degrees, though cloudy, so it feels a little bit cooler. One-0 misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Umpires for today's game. Brandon Moore is behind the plate, and Chris Sintek is in the fields. Well, Blount leading off once again for the Moo. He's put together a really good summer. .303 batting average in 27 games played. This will be game number 28 for Blount on the year. Batting over .350 in the month of July. Last night he was 1 for 6, drove in a run and scored a run as well. Of course, last night, just a wild game from start to finish. You've got the Sasquatch, who didn't get a hit until the 6th inning, despite putting up 10 runs ultimately in the ball game. They only had 4 hits last night. This has popped up towards us. 10-9, they walked it off in 10 innings. Great pitching out of the back end of the bullpen from J.J. Neal. Went the final 3 innings, didn't allow a run. He got the win for his effort out of the pen. And then in the bottom of the 10th inning, it was Javier Marcial, a single into left fields, that walked off the Moo and gave the Sasquatch a chance to play for something meaningful here to finish out the regular season. Blount pops it up first base side. Chase Scott is ranging over towards the dugout, up against the screen, a couple steps behind it. He'll make the catch, and Blount pops out for out number 1. Take a look at the Sasquatch defense behind Russell Peterson here today. Danny Cook is in left field. Ben Green in center. Javier Marcial is in right. The infield third to first. Bachman and Coleman on the left side. Gonzalez and Chase Scott over at first. And Nolan Eckerman is doing the catching with Russell Peterson on the mounds. With the injuries, you've got a bunch of guys who will not be available today on the offensive side of things. Those players include Lane Syme, Jordan Bowman, Kyle Finn. Trying to think of others. I know there's more. Patrick Rakes unavailable as well. Swing and a miss to Jack Tarosian. Count, no balls and 2 strikes, and then Seth Nelson as well. 5 players who've been seeing a lot of playing time. All 5 of those players will be unavailable for today's game. And on the pitching side of things, you don't have a lot of depth there either. Tarosian into center, and this will drop in front of Ben Green. He'll play it on a couple hops. And Tarosian gives the Moo a base runner in the top of the first inning with a 1-out single. Take a look at the key to the game today for the Sasquatch. Going with some Beatles with a little help from my friends. The Sasquatch not only need a win, but they're going to need some help from their friends/foes. The Nebraska prospects, once foes, now friends in the eyes of the Sasquatch. They need a win today, and they need a prospects win in order to make the playoffs. Fremont, all they need to do is win, and they are in. And meanwhile, the Sodbusters are hoping that the Sasquatch can win, and then the Sodbusters with a win would also be in. This is hit well to center field. Green is going back, and he's still back. It's going to go off of his glove and kick off the base of the wall. He'll throw it into the infield off the bat of Cooper Fucino. That's a double. So Fucino will get into second base. Back-to-back hits for the Moo. A single by Tarosian, now a double for Fucino. And Fremont threatening in the top of the first inning with second and third and 1 man out. Fucino, we highlighted him in the open as a player to watch on the Fremont side of things, and that is why. Extra base hit number 18 on the year for Cooper Fucino. Second and third. And Carter Sintek will look to try to give Fremont the lead in the top of the first inning. Peterson's first pitch misses, ball 1. Sintek was 1 for 6 last night with an RBI. In 13 games played, he's batting .280. Out in front, a ball and a strike. Well, Peterson's probably best pitch is that big looping curveball, sort of 12-6 movement that he's able to get on that pitch with how over the top he throws. The fastball playing off the curveball makes him tough to barrel up. There it is. It's chopped towards the plate, and it's foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Peterson, if you look at the numbers, the high ERA, he's a little bit unlucky, or has been this year. His BABIP, batting average on balls in play, is at .409. He's only giving up a .270 batting average against, though. So you'd say, and that coupled with as well a weak contact percentage at 73.68, all that leads you to believe that he's gotten a little bit unlucky, gotten a lot of weak contacts, and opponents are batting .270, but batting really well on balls in play. Pitch misses high and a full count. The other big thing for Russell Peterson to look out for is avoiding the big innings. He's had 28 of his 36 innings he's pitched in, scoreless innings, only given up a run in 8 of those innings. But across those 8 innings, 27 runs. There's strike 3. Sintek is down looking. And that's the first strikeout of the game for Russell Peterson. And why not? In the final game of the year, we get a beer batter strikeout in front of a big crowd on 9 innings of winning night to celebrate our host families and our amazing fan base. They get rewarded with a strikeout from Russell Peterson. And now there's 2 outs and 2 on. And Peterson swings and misses. No balls and a strike. You got Russell Peterson on the mound going up against Connor Peterson at the dish. First baseman for Fremont. Has struggled overall this year. Heating up a little bit as of late. 192 batting average in his last 22 games, or 192 batting average in 22 games played total. But over his last 6 games played, he's 10 for 23, so he's .435 in that span. Terosian on third and Fucino on second. And the 1-1 drops in there for a strike. 1-2 the count. In the dirt, blocked by Ackerman, 2-2. Well, 7 strikeouts his last time out against the Spuds. He's recorded, Russell Peterson has recorded 7 or more strikeouts in 5 of 9 starts this year. His season high is 9. Chopped weekly foul. Connor Peterson stays alive with a 2-2 count. So this game, 4-12 currently and 4:05 start, with the game out in Hastings at 5:35 local time. You can tune in and watch a lot of this game before split screening this and the Sodbusters game. This is grounded towards short. Coleman has it go off of his glove and it'll go into the outfields. See how they score that, a hit or an error. He had to go into a dive, so you'd imagine that's probably going to be a hit on what would have been a tough backhanded play by Micah Coleman, the shortstop. Peterson reaches, Terosian scores, and Fremont has an early 1-0 lead, with Fucino able to advance to third as well. Fremont with runners on the corners, 2 men out, off the RBI single from Connor Peterson, and that brings up Miles Meadows to the plate. Meadows takes in the dirt. Well, Meadows has been swinging a scorching hot bat for Fremont. He comes into today 287 on the year. This is game played number 35, and over his last 6 games, he is 13 for 24, batting .542 in that span. He was 4 for 6 last night. Continues to have great at-bats and get a lot of hits for Fremont, batting in the 6th spot in the lineup today. And he's playing a good center field as well. We've seen him track down quite a few balls in center. Peterson has a big lead off of first base, and Russell Peterson will step off. So Fremont already scoring first in this game. That's something they didn't do last night. 1-2. Sasquatch put up 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning yesterday. Fremont went down quietly in the top of the first against Sasquatch starter Luis De Los Santos yesterday. Runners on the corners with 2 men out and 2 strikes. And again, Connor Peterson dancing off of first base. Russell Peterson will step off. And this misses outside. I think they assessed Russell Peterson a ball for maybe taking too long and stepping off. So the count is full, despite that only being the second pitch missing the zone here against Miles Meadows. A full count with 2 outs. Connor Peterson will go. Pitch is fouled up over top our heads. We'll do it again on a full count. The hope was to try to get Russell Peterson through 4, but hopefully 5 if he can work efficiently. This is already going to be pitch number 28 in the inning, so that becoming increasingly less likely. This is into right fields, over the head of Gonzalez. He leaps and can't make it, and that's going to drop in front of Marcial with Connor Peterson going on the pitch. He'll go first to third, and it's an RBI single for Miles Meadows. 2 runs in the inning. Cooper Fucino comes home to score, and Fremont has an early 2-0 lead. So Peterson, 4 hits in the inning, 2 runs. And Fremont bringing up their 7th hitter of the inning. Caden Anderson will get an opportunity. Sasquatch fell behind in game 1 of this 3-game series, came all the way back and nearly completed a comeback. Tied the game late in the ball game. Found themselves trailing 5-0 after the top of the first inning, but they answered back with 4 in the bottom of the first in that ball game. Check in on Meadows, he's back in time. I mentioned there's some rain that's possible in the forecast. Obviously, it's very cloudy here at the ballpark. We'll see how that affects the rest of this game. This is a game that has to be played at some point. In the right fields, Marcial drifting back, still back, and he didn't get a good read. It's over his head, and it drops up against the warning track. The relay throw from Gonzalez will not be made towards the plate, and Miles Meadows comes home to score. That's a 2 RBI double for Caden Anderson, bringing home Peterson and Meadows. And Fremont has put up 4 runs in the top of the first against Russell Peterson to take an early lead in a game that for them would clinch them a spot in the ILB championship if they can win it. Still 2 outs in the inning, 3 straight hits with 2 outs. RBI singles by Peterson and Meadows, and now a 2 RBI double for Caden Anderson. Fremont on top early in a big way. And here comes Isaac Bonner. Rain is beginning to fall slightly outside of our press box. You can see some fans with an umbrella. The umbrella's starting to pop up around the stadium. 1-0 the count to Bonner. Into right center field. This is hit well, and that's going to drop into the gap. Scoring from second is Caden Anderson. Bonner will round second and head for third. Throw comes into Gonzalez. There'll be no relay. And Isaac Bonner is in standing up at third base with an RBI triple. 5 runs for the Moo in the top of the first inning as they're getting to Russell Peterson early. Not something the Sasquatch could afford today with how thin they are on the pitching side of things. Very few available arms out of the bullpen. You're looking at Elijah Bobo as the only guy that can probably go multiple innings today. Nathan Harb can maybe give the Sasquatch 1. Jake Dempsey perhaps can go 1 or 2. And after that, you'd be looking at who knows what. Position players would have to come in and go the rest of the way. There's lightning, and that's going to immediately be a delay. Lightning in the area. At minimum, we're going to have a lightning delay, perhaps a rain delay. The umpires will shuffle the teams off the fields. Thunder booms in the distance, and that will mean a delay on game 50 of the regular season for the Sasquatch, the final game of the regular season. Why not make it a little more exciting? Sasquatch will exit the field. We're in a lightning delay for the moment, and we'll get back to you with an update as soon as we can. For now, stick around. We'll be right back, and hopefully we've got baseball coming up when we return. So the rain finally passes here at the ballpark after about an hour and 40 of a rain delay / lightning delay, mostly rain on the back end of things. The Sasquatch and Moo are going to get set to continue playing baseball here in the final game of the regular season. Of course, now this game behind the game that started an hour and a half after, which was the game between the Prospects and the Moo. That game is now underway and in the top of the second inning. We're still in the top of the first inning, haven't quite gotten through this beginning part of the ball game yet. Russell Peterson got the ball to start things off for the Sasquatch, and he'll end up only facing 8 hitters, as he is not going to continue this game. Instead, Jake Dempsey will take over on the mound, and he'll have to work a couple innings out of the bullpen today. Dempsey, this is only the 3rd time he's been on the mound. He's been swinging a really hot bat. Made his very first appearance of the summer as a pitcher back on May 24th, and then didn't play again until taking over as a hitter on June 9th. Has worked the majority of the summer as a hitter, where he's batted .472 at the plate, and in 2 outings for him this summer, so 2 innings pitched, he's given up 5 runs, all of those earned, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. He's also hit 2 batters, so Sasquatch will look for bulk innings out of Dempsey. He'll take over. Day is done for Russell Peterson, and Sasquatch already with basically no depth on the pitching side of things, and now it'll be up to Dempsey to try to work a decent part of this ball game. If the Sasquatch win and the Prospects can come back and win against the Sodbusters, then the Sasquatch would have an opportunity and make the playoffs. If Fremont wins, then it's all over. The game in Hastings doesn't mean anything. So long as Fremont wins, they are in. And the Sodbusters are hoping for a Sasquatch win, and that the Sodbusters can also win as well. So the score is 5-0. In the top of the first inning, runner at third is Isaac Bonner, and here comes the DH, or pardon me, the catcher, Bridger Coleman. DH last night. Today, moving back behind the plate, he's swapped places with Cooper Fucino, who's in the DH spot today. 1-0. Foul tipped into the mitt, a ball and a strike. So Coleman was at the plate when a bolt of lightning struck over right center field, and that immediately caused the delay. No rain really at that point, but a lightning bolt means at least a 30-minute delay, and then after that we had rain for about an hour and a half until finally we're here and ready for baseball again. A huge shout out to some of the players for helping out on the field. Jared Hunt, our assistant GM, who does so much here at the fields, getting it ready, and of course our baseball ops intern Blake Bolin doing everything he can to get the field ready, and now it's back in playable condition. Into left center field, there is a base hit off the bat of Bridger Coleman. That'll score Isaac Bonner. Coleman's going to try for second. The throw comes into second, and it is in time. They got him. The run does score. 6 runs in the inning for the Fremont Moo, and after a long top of the first inning, finally, the Sasquatch Bats will get an opportunity to swing in the bottom of the first inning when we come back.
Health, orthopedics, and sports medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines to support our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to make an appointment. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. Monument Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
At Deadwood Gaming Resort. When you're looking for the latest and greatest games, the Lodge is the place for you, as we are constantly updating our gaming floor with new and exciting games. There's always something fresh and fun at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, your home for the newest games.
Finally, here come the Sasquatch Bats in the bottom of the first inning, trailing 6-0. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Sasquatch today. Matthew Gonzalez leads things off. Ben Green, the center fielder, bats second. Nolan Ackerman bats third, and Ryan Bachman in what could be his final game with the Sasquatch bats cleanup. Javier Marcial, the hero from last night, bats fifth. Micah Coleman sixth. Chase Scott bats seventh. Brinkley Evans, the DH, bats eighth. And Danny Cook rounds out the order, and he is batting ninth. Well, the Sasquatch find themselves trailing 6-0. The bats will have to answer, and knowing that the pitching depth is not great in the back end, Sasquatch bats will look to try to support their pitcher. They'll have to go against Gage Ingram, who will get the start today. It was originally going to be Zach Vincent, so he doesn't even throw a pitch despite being named the starter. And Gage Ingram will take over. The numbers for Ingram this year: 2 games played, both of them were games he started, so he's a perfect 2-0. 2.77 ERA, 0.85 whip, 6 strikeouts to 1 walk across 13 innings pitched for Ingram. He'll begin his outing by going up against Matthew Gonzalez in a first pitch strike to the second baseman, Gonzalez. Nothing in 2. Well, we also want to let you know of what could be coming later in today, and that is that there is more rain scheduled in the forecast, supposed to hit us around 8 o'clock. In order for this game to be official, the Sasquatch would have to bat 5 times if they are losing after 5 innings of play, and rain starts to come in the 6th inning. Let's take, for example, then that game could be called at that point. If the Sasquatch have a lead and they're batting in the bottom of the 5th inning, the game could also be called at that point. Road team has to bat 5 times in order for it to be official, and if the home team's losing, then the home team would have to bat 5 times as well. Ingram is ahead of Gonzalez, a ball and 2 strikes. And it's fouled away, so we'll do it again. Gonzalez swinging a hot bat lately, batting .328 over his last 15 games played. Raised his batting average dramatically since the start of the season, batting up to .250 now. 2-2. A lot of fans went into their cars or slightly away from the ballpark during the delay, but a lot of them have trickled back to the stadium. Not exactly the full capacity we had before the delay, but still a lively crowd. 9 innings of winning, honoring host families and our fans during the duration of the game. And the 3-2 is grounded to the left side. That's going to get through for a base hit past Isaac Bonner. So it'll be a leadoff single for Matthew Gonzalez, and that gets the Sasquatch going in the bottom of the 1st. Let's take a look at the defense for the Fremont Mood today. Jack Terosian is in left field. Miles Meadows is in center, and it is Josh Blount in right. The infield third to first. Bonner, Sintek on the left side. Caden Anderson at second with Connor Peterson at first. And it's Bridger Coleman doing the catching with Gage Ingram on the mound. Had that made anticipating Zach Vincent would be starting. He was named the starter, but lifted before even throwing a pitch. After an hour and a half plus delay, no surprise to see him taken out before he even enters. Ben Green looks at a pitch low, and the count moves to 2-0 on the center fielder. Green's put together a fantastic year in what could be the final game for the Sasquatch, and for him this year, it'll definitely be one that led to a lot of success for Green. As he takes strike one. .374 batting average for Green coming into today. This will be the 32nd game played for the center fielder. He had a 16-game hitting streak over the middle part of the year. Hits one in the air, left center. Meadows, a long run. Terosian from left. It'll be an easier play for him, and he makes the catch. So Green is retired, and there's one out. Despite falling behind early in game 1 of the series, they surrendered 5 runs. The Sasquatch did in the top of the 1st inning. They still scored 4 in the bottom of the 1st inning, and really that game was a game the Sasquatch could have won. Aiden Torpy was great out of the bullpen, but errors in the 8th inning led to 5 Fremont runs, and that was how the first game of this series went. Nolan Ackerman takes strike one. Ackerman has been fantastic for the Sasquatch. Come back for his 2nd year with the team. This will be his 16th game played. He's hit safely in each of his previous 15. batting a perfect 500 on the year as he hits this one into right center, and this will be caught by the second baseman, Anderson, or no, that was off the ground. I couldn't see because we have our wonderful mascot, Samson, standing right in front of me. I thought it went off his bat and into the glove of Anderson. So a ground ball that retires Ackerman for out number 2. Moving to second is Matthew Gonzalez. So 2 away and a runner in scoring position. Might be able to see those blue hands of Sampson in the bottom left of your screen every now and then. Runner on second with 2 outs. And here's Ryan Bachman. Would love to end his Sasquatch career if this is his last game with at least a hit or so in his final game with a Sasquatch jersey on. Nothing in 2. What a year it's been for Ryan Bachman, 372 batting average. This is game played number 42 for him this year. Most on the team in that category, at-bats, plate appearances. 1 and 2. On base in 40 of 41 games for him this year. One way or another, he has been on base in each game he's played in besides just one, and that was only a couple days ago against Casper. He fights this pitch off, and the count remains at 1 and 2. Putting up 6 runs in the top of the first inning is not a huge deal for a Sasquatch offense that's certainly capable of matching that and more. Putting up double-digit runs in a game is something they've done almost every game they've been in, at least half of them. But the big thing will be how they can shut down the Fremont offense with such a little pitching. Jake Dempsey's going to have to work several innings, and after that, there's really not much left in the Sasquatch pen with a lot of injuries. As Bachman fouls another pitch off, count remains at 1-2 strikes. Quick score update out in Hastings. That game is in the bottom of the second inning, and the Sodbusters currently lead it 3-0 over the Prospects. As a result of that game matters for the Sasquatch, it does not matter for the Moo. So all Fremont has to do is win and they're in. If they lose, then they're out. It's a win-or-go-home game for Fremont. Meanwhile, if Sasquatch win, then it'll come down to what's going to happen out in Hastings. So a 1-2. To Ryan Bachman, pitch number 20 at the bottom of the first for Gage Ingram. That's up and in, 2-2. Matthew Gonzalez, who led off the first inning with a single, he's still at second base. Two grounded to second. Caden Anderson throws on to first. And that'll retire the side in the bottom of the first inning. The Sasquatch do not score. And after 1 inning of play, Fremont leads it 6-0.
For the newest games is at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. When you're looking for the latest and greatest games, the Lodge is the place for you, as we are constantly updating our gaming floor with new and exciting games. There's always something fresh and fun at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, your home for the newest games.
The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot On has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button.
For gaming excitement, it's the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. With new games arriving every month, our selection of slot machines is the freshest in town. You can always find a game with our card tables open 24 hours a day. And parking is free and easy at the Lodge, with the area's largest free parking only steps away from our front door. Enjoy spacious and comfortable gaming at the Lodge at Deadwood, the locals' choice.
So here's Josh Blount, the leadoff hitter. Moo batted 9 in the first inning. Blount fouls the first pitch off. 9 men came to the plate, and Bridger Coleman got an RBI single to finish off the first inning and then was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. That is how the first inning ended. 5 runs, 7 hits, and ultimately none left on base. For Fremont in the top of the first, all those runs charged to Russell Peterson. And the count 0-2 on Josh Blount. We want to thank you so much for tuning in despite the rain delay. So glad you could tune into the final game of the regular season for the Sasquatch and the Moo. This will be the final game for one of these two teams, perhaps for both. Dempsey's 0-2. It's grounded to short, one hop. It goes off the chest of Coleman and ricochets into center fields. Blount will reach. That'll be a single for Josh Blount. He's on base to begin the top of the second inning. And how about this? 8 hits in the game, and everybody has a hit except for Carter Sintek. Here is Jack Terosian. He singled in the first and came around to score a run. Grounded to first, then this will go foul. No balls and a strike to Jack Terosian. Terosian, the left fielder. 14 games played this summer, batting .333. He was 3 for 4 last night. 2 walks, 2 runs. He also stole 2 bases. Hits it in the air, left center field. Ben Green ranging over, and he will make the catch. Terosian flies out. 1 away in the second. And here's the DH Cooper Fucino. About 2 hours ago, we highlighted him in our off-the-wall stats as a player to look out for. And this is why. .348 batting average for Fucino this year. Even better in July, batting .388 in the month of July. First pitch swinging, grounder, and this is going to get gloved by Micah Coleman. He dives, and he's going to get the glove to second base, and that gets Josh Blount. Fielder's choice allows Fucino to reach, but what a nice defensive play at shortstop by Micah Coleman. Makes up for what could have been an error on the first batter of the inning, the Josh Blount hard ground ball that he couldn't make the play on. He makes a terrific play. Josh Blount is retired on the base pass. There's 2 outs in the inning, and Cooper Fucino will reach at first. That'll bring up Carter Sintek. Sintek takes high, ball 1. Well, Sintek struck out looking in the first inning, and with him being the beer batter, beer was $2 off for an hour-and-a-half rain delay because the half inning had not ended. So fans here at the ballpark, despite the rain delay, were able to enjoy that. The 1-0 is lofted foul. Count remains at 1-1. It's also worth noting that it's a bit of a running joke that Cade Bleeker brings the rain. If you remember and you've watched our broadcast before, Cade Bleeker, when he started a couple games here at this ballpark, those were the games that got rained out. Twice he started a game. One was against the Plainsmen, that big 26-run game that they had on ladies' night, and then the other, I believe, against the Prospects, he only lasted 1 inning. Maybe it was someone else early in the year. And today, obviously, not pitching, not involved, except for the fact that he threw out the first pitch, a ceremonial first pitch. And then, not long after, rain followed. In the air, right side, should be playable at first for Chase Scott. He's ranging towards the warning track along the first base line, and he makes the catch. So Dempsey works a scoreless top of the second inning. He strains a base runner, and after the top of the second, we head to the bottom half of the frame with the Sasquatch trailing by 6.
New games every month at the Lodge. We are constantly updating our gaming floor with the latest fun games to keep our guests entertained with new games every month. For the freshest selection of slot machines in town, make the Lodge at Deadwood your gaming destination. The locals' choice for gaming excitement with the newest games is the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort.
Miles of uncontrollable laughter, comfortable silence, and new memories. And for 50 years, Super 8 has been there for wherever your journey takes you. So when the open road calls for a good night's rest, you can depend on Super 8's modern rooms at over 2,000 locations. Plus, earn Wyndham Rewards points for every stay. Super 8, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. See you on the road.
So much time, I haven't spent a single minute in my back office this week. Teamwork simplifies employee communications, scheduling, tip-outs, and payroll. It even syncs with my POS, so I know my data is accurate. All right, tips are out. In fact, teamwork has saved me so much time, I was able to take today off to film this.
Cut! Now remember, you really hate that back office.
Javier Marcial will lead off in the bottom of the second inning. It's 5-6-7 for the Sasquatch. It'll be Marcial, Coleman, and then the first baseman, Chase Scott, going up against Gage Ingram, the starting pitcher for the Sasquatch. As the first pitch misses outside, ball one. Marcial into center field, and that ball is going to be caught by the center fielder, Miles Meadows. One up and one down in the top of the second inning. So here comes the shortstop, Micah Coleman. Coleman takes outside, ball one. And the 1-0 is in there for a strike. The count evens up on Coleman, 1-1 the count. Coleman's put together a fantastic summer at the plate this year. Batting average dipped just below 400 after last night's game. Grounded to short, his counterpart at shortstop, Carter Sintek, will throw across the diamond, and 2 up and 2 down in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up the first baseman, Chase Scott. Well, Scott is playing the final game of the season with really no depth at first base for the Sasquatch anymore. He swings and misses on the first pitch. Kyle Finn hit in the face by a pitch last night. Jordan Bowman injured his knee in last night's game as well. And really nobody else available at first base. So Chase Scott, son of head coach Justice Scott, get an opportunity to play first. The 0-2 pitch is fouled off. He entered in last night's game at first base, and he'll try to generate some offense in the bottom of the second with Gage Ingram setting down the first 2 he faces. This is grounded towards short. Sintek will have trouble with it. The throw to first, and they will get Chase Scott. Despite a bobble at shortstop, they still retire Scott for out number 3. That's a 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the second inning for Gage Ingram. And when we come back in the top of the third inning, we'll have Cade Bleeker and Aiden Torpy join us on the broadcast.
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
I wanna shout out to the world so they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turned
So Connor Peterson will lead off the top of the third inning. I'm joined up here in the broadcast booth, as I will be for the rest of this top of the third inning, with Cade Bleeker and Aiden Torpy, a couple pitchers on the Sasquatch. As Dempsey's first pitch is hit in the air to left center, long run for Green, and he is not going to get there from center. It drops into the gap. Peterson will head to second, and he will stop there. Leadoff double to begin the Moo offense in the top of the third inning. Well, with you guys up here, you won Best Bromance, the superlative, on the Sasquatch. I got to ask both of you, was it love at first sight for each of you?
I mean, it just clicked. I mean, we got it. Oh, sorry. It clicked. I mean, we got it, and we just, we vibed, and then, it just kind of panned out that way. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it was love at first sight for sure.
Love at first sight. Was there something that stood out? I mean, obviously his accent. The Australian accent has got to be a factor to some degree. What was it about each other that you fell in love with right away? As this ground ball to third will be thrown across for out number one.
For me, I liked his attitude towards baseball a lot. I thought it matched a lot with how my attitude, like when he's on the mound and stuff. I think I liked how he presented himself on the mound and all that. So I knew from that we were gonna be good friends.
Yeah, for me, I think as well, I love being goofy and having fun, so I think the humor, we kind of got on the same boat with our humor. And also, I don't know, it was just always a fun vibe. There was never any, conflict of interest or anything like that. We always kind of worked together whenever we had a situation that we wanted to, get better at baseball, whatever it was. So, yeah, no.
Well, a big difference for both of you, how you pitch, obviously. Aiden Torpy, you've got the sidearm delivery. Bleeker, you're over the top. I know you just recently switched to that sidearm motion for Cade. Was there ever a thought for you? Did you ever try throwing sidearm or maybe learn anything from Torpy, mess around this summer?
I've never really thought about sidearm at all, just because how I've always pitched my life. I've always been super tall, and so me throwing overhand, I've been able to really get a downward tilt on my ball. But I've definitely ever since I've been around Torp, I started when I play catch, I'll throw sidearm sometimes just to see what the ball does. But
is there anything different that you were able to get an advantage of throwing sidearm? Is there anything special that happens for you, that transition? Obviously, you've been so good this summer throwing sidearm. What is it about sidearm that helps you out?
I think, well, like I said previously, it's more natural for me. So, command-wise, it's just, I don't know, I feel like I fill up the strike zone a lot easier than when I was maybe 3/4 or higher up. And, I mean, that's been the biggest difference for me. Out of the innings I pitched this year, I'm really happy with my control and command, because that's kind of consistency's been an issue at times. So that's one thing that I found dropping down has helped with me. So
runner on third is Connor Peterson. Here's Caden Anderson at the plate, and he will walk against Jake Dempsey. Fremont with runners on first and third with one man out here in the top of the third inning. Cade Bleeker and Aiden Torpy up here in the booth. Well, as the summer winds down, what could be the final game for you guys this year? Do you have a favorite moment, a favorite memory, each of you, that stands out when you're going to look back on this summer?
I think any time we walk off on like last night, firework night, that was pretty electric. Game was kind of still in the balance. There's still playoff implications, so doing that in front of the crowd, not knowing if we'll be back, that was pretty cool. And also definitely kind of go past the mafia rides on the bus trips. When there's 8 hours to kill and you don't really exactly have service on the phone, got to find a way to kill time. And we kind of use that as a bonding experience. So, I've enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, for me, definitely the road trips. The road trips are probably the thing that I'll always remember. I love being on the bus and just bonding with everybody in the hotel rooms. We just have a great time on the road. It's always fun. And it's just fun to go to new places with all these guys and see different parts of the world and stuff. It's cool.
Well, I think because we've got a little bit of Australia and United States, we'll try to do maybe some rapid fire questions for both of you during the rest of this half inning. Okay, we'll start off with this. Which country has better food? What do you think? You going to go with your own country?
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll have to say, just because purely because in Australia we're very diverse. We don't have any original stuff. Like all our food's just like from other cultures all across the world.
I feel like the U.S. is like that, though, no?
Yeah, but you kind of have your steaks, your ribs, your burgers. Like you kind of like your meats stand out. Australia, we got Vegemite. Like we got nothing else apart from that. So, I mean, yeah, I gotta say U.S. for food. Although I like eating healthy, unprocessed food back home too.
Alrighty, so U.S. wins in the food department. All right, what about like? I mean, I think I know the answer to this one, but I know U.S. has good wildlife. What about like a wildlife? If you had to go on like a hike somewhere, you think Australia would be better or the U.S.?
I think I'm going to Australia.
Go to Australia?
I want to see a kangaroo.
Yeah, but you'll see them like everywhere. They're like deer, so I mean, they're nothing crazy, but yeah, I'll go home to hike. Yeah, I'll go back home for that.
And then what about the best place? Like beach-wise, is there better beaches on Australia?
Yeah, we
for
win.
Sure?
I live 5 minutes by the beach. We win comfortably on that front.
Is it warm?
Oh yeah, it's nice. It's our winters where I live's about 60 every day, so I can't really complain with that.
First pitch high here to Bridger Coleman. Fremont again threatening here with the bases loaded and 1 out, as we'll take a moment to just reset you what's happening on the baseball fields. Up here in the booth with Kay Bleeker and Aiden Torpy. Final game of the regular season for both of these teams. Coleman takes strike one. Well, Dempsey's a guy who does both. He hits and pitches. Is it more impressive for you? I know you're both pitchers, but might be because you can't hit or don't have the experience hitting that you find hitting more impressive. Do you find pitching more impressive? Is it harder to be a pitcher or is it harder to be a hitter in your mind?
I think that's up to like individual like preference. Because like I know they say hitting the baseball is one of like the hardest things you can do in sport. And I agree with that. Like, I used to hit a lot, and I miss that as well. But at the same time, like, if you're on the mound and you can command the ball where you want to go and just, like, strike guys out, like, for fun, like, it's kind of fun as well. So, I mean, I guess that's up to individual interpretation, in my opinion.
And I know you got an at-bat this summer. Did you get an at-bat this summer?
Yeah, I walked on 4 pitches.
All right.
I didn't get to swing.
Aiden, you got a couple swings in your at-bat, though.
Yeah, I struck out my first time, put a good swing on it, but then I got to base it up the middle. So I'm batting 500 on the. I told Coach I can be hot today if he needs an AB. So my arm's not going to hold up on the mound, but I can swing it if I need it.
Yeah, I want to ask you a little bit about that as well. I mean, you in this last stretch against Casper and then here into Fremont, 20 pitches, back-to-back nights, 1 day off, and then you threw 90. I mean, how do you get adjusted to that after not throwing anywhere near that amount of pitches in an outing all summer long?
I guess it kind of helps that you've kind of, periodically thrown 2-3 times a week. Like, your arm starts to get used to that. Like, I definitely wouldn't be able to throw 95 if I just showed up. But kind of as time goes on, your arm gets used to it. I kind of felt like I needed to do that as well, especially because we've, Bleak's got injured here and we've had a few guys go down. So we're pretty short in the pen. So I just knew if I could just grind out 5 innings, we give ourselves a chance like last night. And, JJ came in and shut the door for us last night. So, I knew if I just saved the pen in a sense, I know my weekend would be over, but we're at a better spot to, compete the last couple games.
Josh Blounce here at the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. Fremont tacked on another in this inning on the RBI infield single by Bridger Coleman, and now the count is full. Well, I'm going to hold my question for just a moment with this full count. Blount at the plate. You've got Anderson at third, Bonner at second, and Coleman at first. And here is the 3-2 from Dempsey. And it's fouled away. So I'll ask you now, with both of you being pitchers, for any young pitchers or young baseball players who are watching, do you have any tips for things that you can do to get better, maybe small drills that you do in the bullpen or even on days you're not practicing on the field, any stretches, kind of things that you both do frequently that help you, get better as a pitcher?
My advice would be just to focus on throwing strikes. I wouldn't worry as much about throwing as hard as you possibly can. I'd more focus on how much you can pound the strike zone. That'd just be my biggest tip.
Yeah, like you said, command's pretty important, and I think that starts with like playing catch. So like from a young age, like growing up, like take catch seriously, because the more you can hit the other guy on the chest, it's gonna translate into a game, whether you're a pitcher or whether you're playing the infield or the outfield. Just like, I guess kind of just take that seriously. have fun doing it as well. But catch play is pretty important, I'd say.
Do you have any favorite memory from when you guys were young playing baseball, maybe Little League or playing catch in front of your own house? Or I know I asked Jordan Bowman about a memory when he was a kid. He said he was practicing sliding in the house and he broke the wall. He slid into the wall and made a hole in the wall. Is there anything like that stands out from your childhood baseball-wise?
Yeah, I remember I was pitching I was hitting in it was our Little League championship game, and one of my buddies from high school, he was on that team too.
Well, you could finish your story here into the half inning.
Huh?
You finish your story into the half inning.
Yeah.
All right, well, they'll join us for the rest of the half inning. You're going to have to stick around to hear the rest of this Little League story from Cade Bleeker. So as we head to the bottom of the third, Fremont on top, 7-0.
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
We all take different paths in life. That's why we utilize multiple different treatments here at Peak. Our main treatment is our high-level chiropractic adjustment, but we also emphasize the use of cupping, scraping, vibration massage, trigger point therapy, and active care to promote movement, strength, mobility, and most of all, pain relief. Why travel to multiple locations when you can have total wellness under one roof? Stop in today and let's get you to your peak.
Eight, 9, and 1 for the Sasquatch. Brinkley Evans, Danny Cook, and Matthew Gonzalez will bat for the Sasquatch here against Gage Ingram back out there for a third inning of work. Strike one, and as promised, Cade Bleeker will continue his Little League story that he started in the top of the third inning. Should have plenty of time here in the bottom half of the third. So, favorite memory from when you were a kid, Little League championship game. Take it away.
All right, so we were in the championship, and I had hit a home run earlier in the game, and we were gonna run rule the team, and I was coming up, and one of my best friends from high school was right behind me, and he looked at me and he's like, "Ooh."
Close play there at first base. Just gets Brinkley Evans ahead of the throw, so that's the first out of the inning.
So he looked at me and he said, "You better not hit a home run here. I want to hit." And sure enough, the first pitch I saw, I hit it dead center to win it for a run rule, and he's just really mad at me. It was really funny. That's probably my favorite memory.
So 2 home runs in a Little League championship game. You pitch it all as well in that? Was it just the one game, or you pitch in a series?
I don't know if I pitched in that game. It was just a one-game series.
Just the one game. Well, Danny Cook grounds out, so there's quickly 2 away. Give you an opportunity if you have a favorite memory from playing baseball as a kid.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess I also played. I mean, you can call it a memory, or it was kind of sad. But I think playing back in Little League, we got my team that I played for back home got the chance to play in the championship game for the Australian Little League World Series. So that was a really cool experience. We lost that game sadly, but being in front of that with a chance to go to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, that was probably my one of my highlights growing up.
Well, I spoke too soon when I said we'd have a lot of time in this half inning. That was a 5-pitch inning.
We can stick around.
Sasquatch retired in order. We'll get one more half inning from Bleeker and Torpy as we head to the fourth. Fremont still on top, 7-0.
There we go.
For the newest games is at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. When you're looking for the latest and greatest games, the Lodge is the place for you, as we are constantly updating our gaming floor with new and exciting games. There's always something fresh and fun at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. your home for the newest games.
Spearfish in the Black Hills of South Dakota. You'll find rugged hiking and biking trails, extreme rock climbs, and views that will take your breath away. Plan a Spearfish vacation and come find your adventure. Spearfish, my great place in South Dakota.
Cooper Fucino will lead things off. Fucino goes after the first pitch and hits it out to right field. Well, we're picking up right where we left off. One pitch and one out, right into the glove of Javier Marcial. Well, I want to get to the Sasquatch secret. We've got Aiden Torpy up here. We've done it a couple times already. Cade, you shared yours, so we've got Aiden Torpy
I want to
here.
hear Cade's. What was Cade's first?
Well, why don't you share it again then?
Mine was that I played all sports in junior high and high school.
I won't lie.
Star football athlete.
I know a little bit of what Aiden's going to say here, and I think he's got you beat. So, Aiden, what is your Sasquatch secret?
My secret is I actually grew up in Japan was my childhood, so I lived there for about 10 years. So I'm fluent in Japanese, and I can speak that pretty good. So I'd say that'd be my secret. I don't think too many people know that about me. So
quickly, we've got 2 outs again. We might have to have you stay on for another half inning here, but I got to talk a little bit about Japan then. Why not? Japan versus Australia. What are some of the things Japan is more that you enjoyed more about your time in Japan versus Australia?
Definitely food. Food in Japan is really good. Even if it was just my childhood, I love any kind of food, especially Asian, but getting to eat Japanese food every day, that was definitely a big one for me. And I guess just growing up, getting to experience different cultures, I think that I'm pretty lucky to do that. So that's pretty cool, in my opinion.
Well, on the note of travel, Cade, is there any place that you've never been that you'd love to travel to? What's at the top of your travel list?
Well, now Australia's up there because I'm going to come visit Aiden. So Australia's definitely up there. Also, I really want to I want to go to Europe really bad. I want to go to Switzerland and see those mountains and stuff. I think that'd be a really cool place because I love the mountains.
Well, if you need advice, we've got one of our interns, Derek, from Switzerland. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can ask him over at the tent at the front of the ballpark if you want any advice on Switzerland. He can probably help you out there. Got a 3-1 count to Connor Peterson, already 2 away in the inning. Jake Dempsey trying to work through another half inning. And this is fouled back to the screen. Count goes full. We'll hold off on any major questions and story time with 2 strikes in the half inning. Jake Dempsey took over in the first for Russell Peterson after the rain delay. He's worked ever since. And the full count pitch is hit in the air. Center field, there's a base hit.
There's a lightning.
Into right center field. There was also some lightning out in right center. Peterson's going to try to go to second as the ball was bobbled by Ben Green. It comes all the way in on the infield and hits the leg of infield umpire Chris Sintek. Peterson is going to wind up at second base with 2 outs in the inning after the bobble in center field by Ben Green. We touched on briefly last night Javier Marcial with the walk-off hit. You said it was probably one of your favorite memories with how electric it was at the ballpark. Just walk me through a little bit of what that half inning was like, or really the end of that ball game. J.J. Neal on the mound, getting it done over those final 3 innings. The 10th inning where you've got the runner on base, he gets 3 straight outs, and then you guys end up walking it off in the bottom of the 10th inning. How great of a feeling was that in the dugout over those final couple innings?
It was actually really great. I think our morale was kind of low for that game for the most part of it. We weren't hitting the ball. I mean, we were able to get it done somehow, but once we finished and walked it off, I think it was just a sigh of relief from everybody that we were just able to compete and win a game like that in such a big time moment.
Pop out to Chase Scott will be the third out of the top of the fourth inning, so we'll head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Want to stay on another half?
Yeah.
All right, why not? At this rate, we might have you on the rest of the
Yeah.
game. Bottom of the fourth inning's coming up. The score remaining at 7-0, Fremont in front.
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot On has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
First pitch swinging to Ben Green. I think we're seeing a lot of that the rest of the way. Green fouls it off. Green, Ackerman, and Bachman for the Sasquatch against Ingram in the bottom of the fourth inning, with rain scheduled in the forecast to hit us in a few minutes. I think the Sasquatch are swinging at just about every pitch as he grounds to short, throw to first, foot held onto the bag, and Green grounds out. And there is out number one. Well, between one of the breaks, we talked a little bit about your majors in college, both psychology majors, another reason why the bromance is meant to be. But for both of you, what are you hoping to do the rest of the way in college and then beyond?
Look, I'll be honest. I know I'm going into my senior year, but I've honestly got no clue. I might, in an ideal world, I'd combine my psych degree with exercise science and maybe do some sports psychology. But I know a PhD for that might take me another 2 to 3 years, so I got to decide if that's the road I want to take. So.
And then what about you, Kate?
I'm really interested in sports psychology, so sports psychology is definitely the route that I want to go. Like as of right now, I was an exercise science major, and then I'm not that anymore. I'm just strictly psychology.
I think Bachman swinging first pitch. Yes, he is.
Yep.
Grounded up the middle, and there's a base hit. Sasquatch have swung at every pitch in this half inning, and he gets a 2-out single up the middle. I wonder at what point, with rain in the forecast and the score as it is, maybe head coach Justice Scott will lift Ryan Bachman at some point to an ovation here in front of this Sasquatch faithful crowd.
He definitely needs one.
Over at first base with 2 outs, here's the hero from last night, Javier Marcial. What are the odds he's swinging first pitch? What do we think?
I'm going to give it a 100% chance.
100%. Every pitch has been in the zone as well, which helps.
Ooh.
And he takes it's outside of the zone for the first time. So ball one. Marcial flew out to center in the second inning. That's the only time he's been up. 7-0 Fremont in front here in the bottom of the fourth inning as Marcial grounds it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, on the note of Ryan Bachman, obviously you two are close, but Bachman, I remember first day I was there, he was sort of the first guy to greet me, obviously the veteran of the team. What was he like the first day you met him, and then over the course of the summer, how great has he been welcoming you to the city?
He's like the same now as he was the first day I met him. His personality never changed. He didn't take it slow, and his shell was already broken, so he's just awesome to be around. I'm really happy that he was here for the summer. He's a big time reason why we were able to get as close as we are now. I think just him being open like that.
Yeah, and I think to add to that as well, if you've been here for 4 years, I think as well, it's kind of easy to maybe some people might get ahead of themselves, kind of the hometown hero, but he's really humble with how he goes about his business. And I think that kind of energy just carries on, and it's just a good influence on the whole team.
Marcial flies out to center field, and that'll do it for the bottom of the fourth inning. I wanted to touch on some some Sasquatch superlatives that were handed out before today, but no chance to do that. So you want to stick around another half inning at this point? Why not? All righty, we'll stick around. They'll join us again for the top of the 5th inning as this game is moving along over these middle frames. The score remains at 7-0.
Health, orthopedics, and sports medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines to support our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to make an appointment. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. Monument Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
So much time, I haven't spent a single minute in my back office this week. Teamwork simplifies employee communications, scheduling, tip-outs, and payroll. It even syncs with my POS, so I know my data is accurate. All right, tips are out. In fact, teamwork has saved me so much time, I was able to take today off to film this.
Cut! Now remember, you really hate that back office.
Miles of uncontrollable laughter, comfortable silence, and new memories. And for 50 years, Super 8 has been there for wherever your journey takes you. So when the open road calls for a good night's rest, you can depend on Super 8's modern rooms at over 2,000 locations. Plus, earn Wyndham Rewards points for every stay. Super 8, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. See you on the road.
So we're currently in a lightning delay here at the ballpark, lightning in the area. So we're going to take a quick break again here on the broadcast. It's not raining just yet. Bleecker and Torpy, among maybe other Sasquatch. I know Patrick Rakes had mentioned he wanted to hop on. At this point, maybe we can cram the whole team in here in the final game of the regular season, maybe have a bunch of players on, talk with a bunch of them during the half inning. So we'll take a quick break with a lightning delay here at the ballpark, and we'll come back with maybe some more interviews during this delay. Stick around. Fremont Moo currently lead at 7-0 this game in the top of the 5th inning.